Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, and do I have an amazing woman to introduce you to, Alexandra Enke. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, Linda. I'm so happy to be with you today
Oh,
here.
it's so wonderful to be with you, and I love the swirl here of your slides. Tell us a little bit about how you absolutely love the deep blue of the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think the ocean is for me such a mirror of my soul because it has so many waves
Mm-hmm.
and like it's so the ups and downs, and it has so much depth, and you can go really, really deep and explore more and more and more. So that's, I think, how it got to the ocean and to these waves here on that slide.
I love it. I love it. So, how did you get started in the world? like, like your slide says, shine your light into the world, and we come from the light. And so, when you were little, what was your bright light that you were shining into the world?
When I was little, I was this kid growing up in Eastern Germany, in Leipzig, in a little village, in a house that where my parents were raising me, with two younger sisters, one 5 years younger and one 8 years younger. So like really from little, I took responsibility, being
Okay.
the older one, and yeah, letting them shining my wisdom.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit too much, but I tried my best.
Yeah, right. I was the oldest of all the grandkids, so it was constantly, I was in their face, like at gift time, right? Birthdays or Christmas, like I was opening their presents for them, and I had a brother 3 years younger, so I was grabbing his too. So yeah, I get that a little too much.
I know, and I always knew better, like I know what to do, and I wanted to, of course, protect them, but
Yeah.
also, yeah, thought I knew it better because I was already the wiser and older one in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so how I was shining is in my, like, my first memories are basically how I built things in
Oh.
the garden, like I tried to build, this little houses where you can hide and you can play, and also like with like in the sand, like building things there, or like with my yeah, just with the kids in the kindergarten. So like just to play around and play games. So I think that's what I was shining. And I think what I always had is like trying to understand how things connect, and how the
Mm-hmm.
people there connect, and what yeah, like each of the interests of everyone was. And I loved to understand like those, yeah, like the stories of each and every person, but also I really got into like stories of others. Like I read like the whole library, like we had a little village library, and I read like really everything. Like first I listened to all the tapes because I like to listen more to audio
Oh
tapes.
yeah, me too.
And then it was over. At one point it was over, so
Oh, that's funny.
I started to read like all war stories, all adventure stories. At one point I was like in all this like historical novels
Oh
in
yeah,
the
right.
library. So I was really a bookworm,
Mm-hmm.
and love to see like how all the, yeah, like how all the stories and lights of different people were, to just figure out what I could basically add on.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, I love that part. And so then once you graduated from high school, life changed, right? So what was the life like at that point?
So I graduated, and that moment, that like just around graduation, were like the times when it was really okay, so what am I doing with this life now?
Yeah. Which is
What
late
should
now.
I do? Yes, exactly. So but I think at that time I was not even completely sure what it was.
Yeah.
And I think I just knew I have something here, but like I was also not so sure what it is. Like at that time I was just really imprinted by my upbringing and environment. Is like, okay, find something that I'm good in,
Yeah.
somehow passionate about, do work and live a life with getting children. I wanted to have, like with 23, I wanted to have my first children. 25 did not happen.
Yeah, well, you
But
outdid me like by double. However, I was gonna have 12. And then I had 2, and really they were like having 12.
wow, exactly.
I achieved my goal. Which was really weird because I was the kid that would go knocking on the doors like, can I put your kid to bed for you? You know, they're like, yes, come in. Or some people be like, well, they're in the tub right now. I'm like, well, did you want me to finish their bath? Oh, yes, come in. You know, so Linda's going to have 12 children.
Wonderful.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So basically, figuring that out, I was just deciding, okay, I went through all this book, like we had this book of all the studies that are there, and I tried to figure out, okay, so what of those can I do?
Yeah.
And it ended up in in studying business science and economics. And that's where I went to. It was quite easy for me. So after half a year I was bored. and then I think it all started because I started to join an organization called ISEC, what is the largest student-run organization, and they have this amazing mission of creating peace in the world through basically bringing the leadership potential out of everyone out and help them to change the world with that.
Nice.
And they did that with exchange within countries. So it's like really this global citizenship that was like treasured there. Mm-hmm. And that got me. This idea like really hooked me. And I suddenly felt something that was not like, I think I did not feel before. It was like really resonating, like, this could, like, I love that why, I love that purpose. I could really identify. Nice. And and always when I'm hooked on or passionate about something, then I go all in. That's something about me. I'm really all in.
I don't know if it's my ADHD and my hyper-focus ability or what, but I do. And I have generator in me, manifesting generator. So the generator in me wants to go, go, go. Like I just got a book in 30 days client and I spent 16 hours on her book on Sunday because I was just ready, you know, and I love going into that hyper focus. It's awesome. Then I paid for it.
I feel you. I feel you.
So and so you worked in that capacity and did you like do some living with others as well? Seems to me you'd mentioned that.
Exactly. Like so basically I did that voluntary and next to my studies, and then studies were over. Like I always like education, those things were easy for me, they came to me, but there like I really explored, okay, I can actually lead people, inspire people, train people, develop people.
Right.
And I was in this like the moment where I first got really this I am here to give my light, my wisdom to this world was in 2012 in a conference in Greece. And it was an international conference where all of those leaders from the organization came together, 300 people, and from all across the world. So they were like really from, I still remember we had like meetings with Chinese, like the Chinese leaders, like Mexicans, Egyptians, really literally from all different continents of the world. And you just had this feeling of, wow, there's like-minded, value-aligned people, but from all over the world, and we all share a common purpose.
Yeah.
And suddenly something opened in me. It was like, oh, I am here for something bigger. Like if this is possible and we can be one, like one world, right? Like then there needs to be something happening that everyone can feel that.
Yeah.
And suddenly it shifted, like, okay, we are one, I'm a global citizen. And the second thing was, I can become everything that I want to be in that world. Like I shifted from this fixed mindset, you know, I need to build a house, make a decent career, get like this, like
do the
normal things in Germany, you know, like to everything is here. Like I can just decide to become everything I want to. And then when that happened, there's no way back. Like it's
Yeah,
just like,
it's stepping through a portal. Like my husband and Terry Earthwind-Nichols always talks about that. Like there's this door, and when you step through it, it closes. And he goes, it doesn't. Well, he says it doesn't just close; it disappears. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. You're a whole new you, and there's no going back.
Exactly. And then it just emerged. So like I was receiving, okay, like I really want to do the most impact I can have now in the world, and the opportunities the organization offers me. So I went to Mexico 5 months, went to Colombia, volunteered there for 2 months, then went to Egypt for a month, and then got a position in the leadership board in Germany for that organization. So really full-time, not as a volunteer anymore, then leading all those volunteers and making the strategies. And with that young age, you know, that was 2013. So I was 23 years old, and I still had like that responsibility on my shoulders. And it was feeling like, wow, this is what I'm born to do. I'm born to lead, you know, like I'm born to lead, and I'm born to make people find their mission and create a peaceful world and a better world for all of us. Yay. So yeah, and then just continued. And then I went to Egypt also for a year, where I could like then do that in a developing context, because always my heart is going for equal opportunity in the world. That's something what really drives me, that like I feel very privileged to be born in a developed country, in a Western country like Germany, where I had everything. Like we have healthcare, we have education, everything was gifted to me and I just received it. And I always wanted to understand how can I make that also better in countries that did not have that privilege. And so understood the Arab context was also like a lot of like a spiritual journey, understanding like all those different religions and what makes people move also in this like democracy dictatorship. I just went there after Second Revolution, so it was also super interesting understanding their view on politics, but also in general like how hope can be destroyed, but also hope can be newly built. And that democracy is not something that you suddenly get from where, but like that basically even those kind of systems need their new way of governance. So yeah, and I lived, that's also something there, like I lived always in community, like with the other leaders. So we were sharing this experience together. So it was not me having all these responsibilities on my shoulders of facilitating those big conferences. In Egypt was like, I think the largest one, we had 500 participants, volunteers, like the young leaders there, and we were the ones making all the sessions, managing the conference, and Egyptians, I love them, but it's very different in Germans. Germans are very like punctual and so on. Egyptians, I was feeling sometimes like, okay, I need to drag you now to that new other room. And so we need to move now. But on the other hand, so much energy. I've never experienced so much energy and passion in a room. Like when they were facilitating, like that, it was crazy, like how much energy you can just mobilize in a room of people, and through that, what development journeys can happen. Incredible.
So then that brings you to what you're doing now. So tell us just a little bit about that.
Yes. So from all that international experience went me to management consulting and sustainability, to coaching back, because what I do now is helping people to figure out what is their unique genius, their unique light, and when they get the clarity, then help them to transform their life into it. So as an analogy to basically my life is when I just had that moment 8 years ago, when like the portal opened, to get that a little in a more structured way. So like you can open the portal right away, get a clarity, and then transform your life into really a life of calling and not work, but basically like really your calling, your destiny, why you're here. And imprint it into the world.
I love it. And so what's kind of the typical client for you?
I love that question. So my clients, they are really high ambitious performers, so they really want to make a dent into the world. So they are driven, they're ambitious, and they also have a track record of results often. So they either are like currently high potential somewhere, like or they are like already in leadership positions, or they're going an entrepreneurial career, but they are really driven to produce something into the world. That's where they're at. They also have a sense of purpose. They maybe are not clear completely what it exactly is, but they have a sense of, okay, I want to make a contribution. And yeah, and they are visionaries, so they see also like the possibilities and the future.
Right.
So they are ambitiously driving into something, so into a goal, and not just like out of a drive.
So they're all about shining their light into the world as well. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Mirroring.
I love it. That's so great. Well, thank you so much, Alexandra. I really appreciate this. It's really fun to get to know you better.
Thank you too, Linda. Love it too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.